Hello, Bible Beaters. Welcome to another episode of the Bible Beater Podcast. This is the Lord of Hosts, Caleb Campbell, joined as always by the interrupter, Kyle Vestner. How's it going anyways, Kyle?
Pretty boss, yo.
Pretty boss? Why is that?
I don't know.
Oh, you got the boss stance with your leg crossed and
Sure.
your nice sweater.
Is that boss?
Your nice haircut.
When I was a kid, I was told this is for ladies.
Okay, so that's
Crossing
why
your legs.
you do it all the time? No, guys cross their legs.
Yeah, no. You got to just go wider.
Yeah, it's
Otherwise
the wide
you pinch your balls.
figure four. Anything new with you, Kyle? I got some bad news for you.
What?
Guess who's never coming on the podcast?
Your parents?
I finally tested their patience a step too far.
What'd you do?
Well, I didn't do
What
anything.
happened?
Just the constant arguing.
Are you saying I never get to see Stacy again?
I mean, they'll see, you can come over for dinner and we still talk.
Okay.
But I was like, so when are you going to come on the podcast? They're like, my dad's like, quite frankly, I don't want to go on your podcast. He's like, your attitude sucks. And then he said, quote, I don't want people to know that you're my son. And I was like, oh fuck. And
God damn.
I thought he might have heard some clips, but no,
Yeah.
it
was just you.
it's just, well, I don't think
It's almost
did I
worse.
tell you I got kicked out on Christmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got
So
kicked
it's
out
from
on
that.
Christmas,
It's
but it's like
lingering
kind of from that, and it's kind of just like,
Were you yelling shit at them during Christmas about Bible?
yes.
The Bible? Oh, I didn't even know that part.
Well, because my mom is going, isn't this great? We get to celebrate Jesus' birthday, and I'm like, actually, like that guy. And then I'm like, it's a pagan holiday, and they're like, why don't you lay off? And I'm like, why don't you lay off? And then we went down that road, and yes,
I mean, I'm kind of on their side.
I'm not. What do you
At
mean?
a certain point, what change are you affecting?
I'm not. Here's what.
So then you're just
here's why.
fucking up your household.
Oh, here's why.
Yeah.
If my mom is gonna say outrageous things that aren't true, and then influence
Like what?
policy, like fucking celebrating Jesus' birthday.
What policy does that influence?
Okay, not that. Okay, those are two indirect.
Okay.
Okay, what she does though, she does have influence in the world. Many people,
So do we.
at least 5,000 people.
We have about as much as your mom.
Uh,
80%.
no, you don't, because my mom talks to fucking billionaires and leaders of countries. Okay, that's fucking.
Fair
That's a
enough.
fact.
Fair enough.
She's in the
You don't
ear.
think we have any? You saying our listeners are broke, dude?
Yeah, our listeners are obviously idiots. It's the Groucho Marx, man. Any. I refuse to join any club that would have me as a member. No. Because if my mom is going to spew bullshit into the ears of like leaders of countries,
Yeah.
I have a duty to tell her what she's saying is fucking flat out wrong.
It's your duty
Yes,
as a son
It's a society. No, to the humankind.
to be
Kyle.
a good son.
No, fuck that.
Tell your-
This is beyond that.
Mom, you're fucking retarded.
Basically.
And you know what? I don't care if it's Christmas. Everything you believe is stupid, and I'm ruining it.
Dude,
And I'm justified because I'm right. Not in the moral sense. No, I'm making
In
an
the
ass of
absolute
myself
sense.
and I'm shit-faced.
In the absolute
And I'm making
sense.
everything worse, everything
Dude,
around me. But technically,
they were
I'm
at,
right.
dude, their friends were
Yeah.
at the Capitol riots. They're some of the biggest this election is the fraud proponents in the United States. Okay?
Okay, sure.
So I don't
They
agree with
flute-
that.
Okay.
So in my head,
I mean, that election's an obvious fraud, but that's neither here nor there.
whatever. Okay. You're trying to bug me, and I refuse to take the bait.
I believe it.
Okay. The point is, they're never coming on the podcast. And I guess that's my whole point, really.
Your
Oh,
whole
my
point?
dad.
What about Wes?
So, no, he's never
What
coming
about
on.
What about some bitches on old stories?
See, that's what so then I played the card. Well, I guess if you can't handle criticism publicly, like I said last time,
Yeah.
and they were just like, it's not about, you can't say the things that you say. He's like, there's things that are holy and sacred. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me stop you right there. Those words.
Here we go.
What?
No.
Those words are designed to make you think less. Oh, that's holy and sacred. I can't question that.
Don't
I can't
criticize
say
it.
Yeah. In the Bible, it says put those people to death for blasphemy.
Uh-huh.
That's how bad they don't want their ideas criticized. And I said all this, and he's like,
Very good point.
actually, no. Actually, it's about there's some things you just don't do. There's
Why?
lots, and that's
Yeah.
what I said. And I
Yeah.
said why, and then I kind of went off, and then but like same shit as I'm saying now, and then
Feels fucking good. Feels like you're like about to bust.
Well,
Yelling at your parents when you're right.
That's not.
It's like jerking off.
You're
for the
making
first
this
time.
into a fucking parent thing when it's
it is.
more about.
It's absolutely a parent thing.
No.
You would never do that to anyone else.
No, here's the thing, Kyle.
Yeah.
I've said this before, and I believe this in my heart. If they just went to church, I wouldn't give a fuck. The fact that they're publicly leading people in the wrong direction, I believe, makes me feel like I have a duty to humanity to resist bad
Wrong
ideas.
to what end? Because their friends went to the Capitol building?
Yes, and I mean, I can't say like a lot of things on here. I'll tell you after.
Yeah.
But it's fucking bigger than that, okay?
Sacrificing virgins and
No,
shit?
it's not QAnon fucking shit. No, it's more that they have actual influence. Real people actually care what they think, okay?
Do you think the real people that actually care have critical minds?
No.
How did they get to be billionaires without having a critical mind?
One guy got punched in the head a lot. A lot.
Oh, I know who that is.
Yeah.
Well, that guy doesn't. I guess, he's got a lot of influence.
I mean, yeah, it's not in North America, most of this influence. Anyways, the point is...
It's in all those backwards-ass countries that don't have the internet, dude.
So...
They can't Google your mom's
Wrongdoings.
wrongdoings.
So she has no wrongdoings.
Wrong sayings.
Yeah, my mom is mostly
Poor
just...
Negative influence on the world.
Publicly,
if your mom and parents are such a negative influence on the world, you know what you should do?
They've done more good than I've ever done. They saved all those orphans. Kate, in the past, they have saved a lot of orphans. Currently, all they fucking do is hang out with rich people and try to influence policies. So I'm fully against that. There's not a single orphan on my dad's fucking sponsor. My dad indirectly sponsors orphans right now, like a lot. Like he raises money for other people to do it. But like him himself, like Wesley Campbell's orphanage, like these kids. So he's not doing that hardly. So that's why I'm opposed.
Do you think orphanages are a net positive on the world?
Yes, I believe clothing and educating and
housing. You don't
housing.
feel bastards should be left to their own devices?
Of course not.
Okay, just checking.
Of course not, Kyle.
I don't know.
But okay, so back to
thought about.
So I already
ever thought about
what
those fucking.
What are you doing?
What do you mean?
What are you doing right now?
I mean, what do you mean?
Finish your thought.
I'm just saying, orphans, right?
Yeah.
Name one that's done something good.
I know I can. Hang on. Give me a minute. A fucking Batman. All right, Batman.
Okay, the only one
Okay,
you came up with is
I know
fictional.
that's fictional. That's why I didn't say that one. That's why I was going through the thing. There's plenty of orphans, and some of them are. Caesar was his mom died when he was pretty much a man. I'm gonna take as long as it fucking takes
I don't care.
to name you
Dude,
an orphan
I'd love
that
to
did
hear
something
it. Yeah,
good.
because you're kind of proving my point right now.
Both of Jerry Seinfeld's parents.
What?
They gave birth to Jerry Seinfeld. Thus, they indirectly,
They were orphans?
Yeah, both of his parents.
And then they fucked.
They met at way late in life.
Yeah, because comics have good upbringings. That's why they become comics usually. So that's pretty good.
Because he wasn't. He said I was pretty much left alone. My parents didn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, those sound like great orphans for society.
Well, that's what I mean.
They fuck, have a kid, and leave it alone.
They're like, we didn't have parents, so you don't really need a parent.
I was joking, but you're actually proving my point. Are there any good orphans?
No,
maybe not, dude.
No, there has to be.
No.
There has to be,
dude.
I'm trying to think of
single parent household statistics aren't looking good.
Let
alone no parent.
Genghis Khan.
The no parent household statistics are probably looking pretty rough.
Mom. There's a lot of fatherless ones. Like orphan from what age? Like little
child.
Yeah. God damn it! It really is hard to come up with an orphan.
They're probably all garbage.
I mean, just because they were thrown in the garbage, doesn't make them garbage.
God, it does. It kind of literally does.
If you're in trash, are you trash?
If you're surrounded by it, you might be. You might be.
All right. We'll come back to the orphan
thing. Look to your left, look to your right. If you see trash on both sides, you might be trash.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's hard to argue with.
Yeah.
So anyways, my father's saying there's things you just don't joke about. And then he goes so far as to say, look, in any culture you go to, there's things you don't joke about. And I said, negative, because, those are the jokes I like. And he's like, then I said, would you defend the Carthaginians 2,000 years ago, their cultural right to throw their babies into the volcano? That's not what we're talking about. Anyways, that was a long ways to go for that because we were so derailed.
Yeah, sure.
So these are all the arguments we had, and now we'll never get... So you better turn into Jesus and turn that fucking hard drive into Lazarus and raise it from the dead. Because it's the only...
I actually took a stab at it.
And
beyond getting a hard drive...
It's already dead. Why stab it?
Yeah. Beyond getting a hard drive that's exactly the same, so I can swap the platters over.
Why can't... That doesn't seem that hard. I'll buy it. I will invest in this one.
And I can't even guarantee it'll work.
That's YOLO, dog. You only YOLO once.
All right. Hard drive wouldn't even be expensive. It's an old 1 terabyte hard drive. Finding it would be the hard part.
Okay, well, we'll be on the lookout. Maybe we'll post a picture of it, and our legion of fans can help us out.
That'd be dope if that worked. Yeah, hey, if you want to hear the fucking lost episode.
And he's never coming back on, at least not immediately. I may be able to talk him down. But I don't, he seemed pretty stern, so.
Well, yeah, it's like the, 300th time you yelled in their face? To no end, by the way.
It's true.
To literally affecting zero change or zero direction in their life.
It's true.
You're just arguing with your parents because it feels good when you're right to argue with authority. That's all it is.
I disagree.
Yeah, it's like fucking,
I disagree.
Just rub yourself a little bit while you're doing it. You're like, this feels double good now.
I disagree, but I don't know
Getting a little red in the face?
Not really. I mean, I was kind of ranting before.
Dude, you were screaming. I can guarantee you were screaming because of how you got out of the car, blackout drunk. You're yelling the whole time.
Oh, at Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yelling the whole time after. So there's no fucking way you weren't amped up from yelling the whole time before.
I mean,
there was zero chance.
I feel like I remember Christmas and I wasn't really yelling. I just was...
There's no way you don't remember getting to the party.
It was more...
Your mom dropped you off. You didn't remember that.
I do remember that. It was more...
Do you remember calling your mom and saying you're a faggot?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Now that you
remember
mention
it now.
Yes, now.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm jarred out of whatever I was going to talk about before. Do you remember what we read last
week,
week, Kyle?
You were talking about your parents and yelling at their...
Well, we over that. I have nothing more to add to that. Do you?
I got a little thing. No. Not really. I wasn't there.
Okay,
but I can guarantee you, look, when you're a kid and you first win an argument with your parents is the best fucking thing.
Okay.
You could carry that to adulthood, still feels good. It's like fucking winning an argument with a cop and then getting out of the ticket. Like, fuck you, I was right, you're wrong, get back in your car and drive away.
Argued with a cop.
Me neither, because I'm not an idiot.
Yeah. Okay, so what were you saying?
Yeah, see what I'm saying?
It's different.
All right. I was saying, I got alerted to the fact that, like, there's been a lot of updates in the Bible Beaters ecosystem. New websites.
Yeah.
New updates for YouTube. Instagram's coming.
Stuff.
When you update things, hardware, podcast room.
Yeah.
New cameras, new hard drives, some breakings, whatever. Shit gets fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, if anyone's been trying to listen to the last first 115 episodes of Bible Beaters since we updated the website, fuck you. You want to listen to the first 115?
That's a force.
Send me $10.
What's wrong?
All the links broke.
I mean, so is that a lot of manual work?
It was when I went in and manually edited all the fucking links.
Thank you, Kyle. You're a sweetheart.
It was brutal. It was like one of those things was like, oh my God. And then just the links breaking is like, okay, this is like hours of work. Could have been days.
Yeah.
And I was like almost happy. I didn't have to re-upload every fucking thing. That was almost gone.
Just fix the links. Re-upping would have been all that time.
Oh, that would have been days.
Fuck.
Yeah. So we're back. So if anyone is trying to listen, I only got alerted because of posts on the YouTube and emails. So if you were trying to listen to the first episodes, there's no paywall yet, you motherfuckers.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. But if there's no paywall, you can just, if everything's fixed.
Dude, we are the fucking...
On the website and in the app. But they were all broken for a month.
Have you ever heard that, business tip? Under promise, over deliver? We've been talking about all this shit we're going to do for like 2 years now.
You know, and we got a lot of it done.
Some of it.
2 years later.
2 years
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about it.
We're fucking
It only-
volunteers.
it only
it's a
took-
free goddamn podcast.
It took a worldwide pandemic for me to have enough time to get my ass in gear to do it.
Fair enough.
But it's done.
Do you remember what we read about last week, Kyle?
If you want to check out the new... Oh, by the way, people keep emailing me at the wrong thing still.
What is that have anything to do with the first email?
I still get it, by the way, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because you'll keep using it.
Yeah.
But I still get them. But it's BibleBeaters at CanadaComedy.ca.
That's what you used to email us.
Bible Beaters at CanadaComedy.ca.
But I thought we were the Bible Beater podcast.
You son of a bitch. You goddamn son of a bitch.
Me and Kyle.
By the way, if you do that, I don't get that one. So just put that in. I don't give a fuck. Put it in.
Whatever.
See what happens.
All right, Kyle. Do you remember what we read about last week? It's right up your alley. Solomon's Hose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Read about the literal 1,000 women that Solomon got to bang.
Well, God
700
washed.
princesses.
Well, yeah. 700 of them princesses. Good point.
And 300 concubines.
300 whores.
Do you think, can God feel what we do?
I mean, in the realm of he can do anything, of course. So, yes.
So he's always watching, right?
Yeah.
And since we're in the image of man,
Yeah.
I mean, man is in the image of him. We have a dick and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think God enjoys sex
I mean,
in heaven?
based on what he wrote in his book,
Mm-hmm.
no. Because he's a fucking... Well, here's the thing.
You think he's saying God's a weeb, dude?
There's some sexy parts of the Bible, but for the most part, it's like, don't... I don't know if it's biblical.
Yeah,
or-
but you know how all like the preachers are like, don't have gay sex, and they
Yes.
all have gay sex?
I know. Exactly.
Yeah, so maybe he just loves it
Well,
so much.
he kind of talks about... He says, don't use sexual immorality, no butt stuff. He's pretty fucking vanilla, God is, sexually. And the fact that we wanted to mix it up makes him mad, and then he tells us to kill those people.
Do you think he does missionary at least?
I mean, he has to. It's named after the fucking...
My point is, he's always creeping from up there, right?
Yeah, he sees everything.
Like watching Solomon fuck all these hoes. Do you think he ever like ghost bodies them so he can
Probably.
feel what it's like?
I have a little anecdote. You can take this as true or not. But
I choose to take it as true before I hear it.
you know that soccer player Zlatan or whatever? I'm saying his name wrong.
Zlatan?
Zlatan.
I think you're thinking of our friend Zauer.
No, the fucking like world-renowned fancy soccer player. He went to Galaxy and scored that fucking amazing goal in his first game. He's like the best player
married
in
to
Europe.
one of the Spice Girls.
Zlatan. Yeah, no, not David Beckham. Zlatan. He's a fucking Russian or Swedish guy.
Pele.
The point is, Camilla's friend banged him because he's Swedish, and he said, "quote unquote, prepare to get fucked by the dick of God." And she was like, "That was like the cringiest thing." That's the version of the story
That's
I
the
heard.
cringy thing?
She
Dude,
said it was cringy.
you could
That's
say
the
that.
story I heard.
You could say that awesome.
Yeah, I know.
That could be awesome.
Prepare to get fucked by the dick. So in that sense,
Dude, if you're double shotgunning beers, tarps off, and she's laying in bed.
you should be having tarps
That's-
off if you're sexing.
Yeah, but if you're like, you're
Who has
standing
sex
up,
tarps on?
you're standing up, you just bit two cans,
Yeah.
Simeon style, right?
Yeah,
Fucking
bang them both.
double chugging, Budweiser, smash them together, and then you go prepare to get fucked by the dick of God. That's dope.
Little egotistical.
It's very, yeah, a little.
I mean, of course.
What
but
do you say? You don't say shit like that before you fuck
No,
a chick?
I'm more like, what would you like?
like-
Anything you want, lady. I get off if you get off. That's how I have sex. Not like, my dick is awesome. You're fucking just here for the ride.
You're the part where you take your clothes off and then you got to say something?
No.
Yeah, I just go, you're welcome.
You're
right,
such a
before,
douche.
Right before.
You're such a douche.
Could have been worse. Could have been with that guy's. I have a shirt that with your face on it that I just point to. It could have been that guy.
There's a pillow with my face on it.
Yeah, body pillow.
No, just like it's about the side. That'd be
You're-
sweet. A
you're
gut
someone-
body
A
powder.
head pillow.
You're someone's waifu.
That would be hilarious.
You're someone's waifu. Dude?
A fat gut body pillow. Like
How hard could that be to make?
super easy.
Should we make Bible beater body pillows?
To
One
our-
side's you, one side's me.
Well, the side that's you will be like my side will have to be pregnant or something. You'll have to be holding a beach ball. So like you got like a beach
Well,
ball.
why would it have to be even? Why couldn't your side just have
Because
extra
it's a
material?
pillow, dude. It flips. It's like, sorry, I'm yelling about everything.
You're acting like we're worried about comfort now.
No,
When one has a big ball.
because it has to be symmetrical because it's
No,
the same
doesn't.
shape. Yes.
No.
What do you mean no?
I mean, literally, no, it wouldn't.
On one side, there's a fat guy with a gut,
and the other side, it could be flat.
I'm talking about the pillow is shaped that it has a gut. That's what I'm talking about. Not like a
Yeah,
prick.
the flat part, it's a body pillow, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the gut, there's a bump, right?
Okay.
On your gut.
So on
The
your
other side doesn't have to have a gut.
to make it match the other side, you'd have
Why would it have to match?
because it's shaped that way. You fucking idiot. I want to draw you a picture.
I'm an idiot.
Yes, you are. Everyone that's listening to this knows that you're an idiot.
I can't make a flat side to one pillow and a bump on the other.
But when you flip the pillow over,
Yeah?
so one side is me, my fat gut.
Yeah.
The other side will be you standing there without a fat gut, and there will be a bump on the pillow with nothing on it.
Yeah, but the bump will be at the bottom.
But
So it'll still be like higher.
I mean,
So you want me to make a
I've
double
seen
bump?
I've seen a pillow
Mhm.
with my face on it, and the nose comes out, and then when you flip it over, it's my nose coming out on the other side. There will be nothing. There will be no graphic to match the shape of the pillow. This is like
It'll be weird that there'll be a slant up.
yes,
Maybe I just make huge abs.
something like
Just
that.
fucking huge.
Something like that.
Just I've been taking so much insulin to prepare for my weightlifting competition. I got like turtle shell abs.
Is that something that's actually happening?
Yeah, they all do that.
No, but you're not in a weightlifting competition.
No.
Okay.
Do I look like it?
No.
Thanks, dude. Hell yeah. I've been feeling fucking ripped lately. I've just been waiting for someone to compliment me on it.
But you said
I'm
it
getting
like
fucking swole,
I'm taking
dude.
insulin for my weightlifting competition.
Yeah, dude. I'm in the
I never
135
know.
pound class of getting fucking shredded.
Is that what you weigh?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
This is a comedy podcast
Jesus,
about a
You're
book
quite skinny.
about a book full of lies.
that's true.
I'm 185 pounds.
That's what I was gonna guess. 175 at least. At least. So last week we read about Solomon's whores, and then we read about the Lord got mad at Solomon. Remember, he said, "Oh, I can't believe you taking all these foreign wives." Yet again, the
Yeah,
smartest guy in the
that's
world,
why.
tricked by his stupid fucking women whore wives.
Well,
right?
God would have been happy if he kept it in the family, right?
Yes.
He just had to keep it within his compound of. You're not allowed to diversify the gene pool.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
They're the chosen ones. We can't have too many getting into heaven or whatever it is.
It's kind of. I've been reading books about that kind of thing lately. And that's the biggest problem that's affecting
You've been reading
our Earth. right now.
Jehovah
It's too
Witness
much-
Bibles?
No, just too much diversifying of the gene pool.
what the fuck books are you reading?
Just like
Mein Kampf.
I don't even know how to read that. What language is that in?
It's in German, but it's been translated into like every language, like the Bible.
Really?
It's a bestseller.
But you translate. So the Germans lose the war,
Mm-hmm.
and then everyone goes, "Hey, let's translate. Let's read the
Yeah,
book."
everyone wants to know what the fuck's wrong with that guy.
That's a good point.
Everyone's like, "What the fuck was that guy about?" Let's read. The best way to get into the mind of Hitler is to read his book.
Did Pol Pot
And when he
write
said-
a book?
It's a good question. I don't think that he did. But I don't know. I've not checked out Pol Pot. I know next to nothing about him except he did the killing fields in Cambodia, right?
Yeah, I think so. What if Hitler had like beautiful writing? It's just
Penmanship?
No, I just mean like
Prose?
linguistically.
It's actually terrible.
I was assuming by the way he talked, he didn't speak eloquently. Didn't write eloquently, rather.
I don't speak German, but it's widely renowned. He was an incredible speaker.
You ever see those fucking videos? I don't know. I don't speak German.
I have. I watched them.
But there's no fucking way.
Dude, look at the faces of the people in the videos. They're ecstatic. It's like they're seeing a movie star. They're like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest
yeah,
shit."
but it's the same thing like a movie star. They speak and everyone goes, "Oh my god, that's genius," if it's not fully retarded.
Like I said, I don't speak the language, but he had to have at least a way with words to move that many people.
You think so?
Did you, dude?
I think it's just a central idea that everyone likes to hear. Everything we have is fucked.
Well, Stalin.
Everything we have is fucked, and you know whose fault it is? The J-Dogs.
Yeah, well, they had the whole plausible excuse of the First World War, the stabbed in the back theory.
What do you mean?
So when the First World War ended, Germany, they surrendered, and all the soldiers, they were still on French territory. So they were like, "We didn't lose this war. got stabbed in the back by the cowards and the turncloaks at home. Like we should have won that war. Yeah, who surrendered?
Okay.
We were winning. We were winning this war. In fact, they were demolished. But there was giant sections of German troops that didn't believe that they had lost. So that gave the plausibility to the lie. But what we were talking about is public speakers and Stalin. So like to just compare and contrast, Stalin was a fucking terrible public speaker. He arguably the most powerful person to ever live.
Yeah.
Awful.
Better or worse than George Bush?
See, I can't compare the two because I don't speak Russian.
That's fair. I did. Yeah. Okay.
But Hitler was known to be a fantastic
That's what
speaker.
they say. But you know what? There has to be something substantiating it because there's never any reason. What was so compelling about his speech? I get the idea was compelling because everyone at the bottom wants something at the top.
Yeah.
And that was his thing. You want to get it? It's this people's fault. That's history.
And the way
over and over again, people have done that.
Well, and
but to be like, I saw videos of him just going, ah! Ah!
Yeah.
There's no way that guy's speaking eloquently. There's no fucking way.
Well, compare.
You know what I mean?
Have you heard Churchill speak?
No.
We'll fight on the beaches.
That doesn't matter. I meant
We'll fight on the hills.
the screaming tone. You can't speak
Isn't that what
eloquently.
Germans are known for? Just
in a
fucking.
I don't know. That's my point. That's what I was asking.
Kaiserslacht.
Is that how everyone speaks?
Mm-hmm.
So like the bar for what eloquent speech is so low to a German. The bar is so low that Hitler was a good speaker because to the rest of the world, that's shit.
Yeah.
We're just taking their word for it that he was a good speaker. Like, what would you say at the end of the war as a Nazi? Be like, I don't know. He's fucking beautiful with his words. We were just compelled to do it. Not that he had like great ideas that we thought were awesome. We're like, he fucking mesmerized us. He was saying that the Jews could hypnotize you. Well, he did it with his words. Like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, you weren't there. It was pretty convincing.
Right? Like, but we have video. And they're like, you just don't speak our
He's
language.
like,
we all talk like that. Tell me I'll speak.
This is a very yelly podcast. I came in hot. I was in a fucking mood because I was all mad.
Hey, you're angry at your parents like a fucking
Can we
12-year-old.
get over that? It's not.
Can you? Can you get over it?
All right. I mean, the only way to do this, and you said you don't want to do this, I will give you nothing the whole podcast if you keep bringing this up.
I brought it up once.
Okay, so now it's over, and we're moving on.
Well, look how testy the child is when you bring up his mommy and daddy. Okay, I'm sorry. Won't happen again.
It's just annoying, and we can't go further because you just say the same thing no matter what I say. Here we go. Okay, so
I mean, I said one thing.
No, you said the same thing 10 times.
You said you were angry, and I said it's because you're a 12-year-old
and
angry
I said,
at your mommy and daddy.
Okay.
And if you just said that and then moved on, we would have moved on.
No, because you
but
don't move on.
But
That's
here
the
we
thing.
are.
Okay, so here we are.
You are forcing the issue that you're not mad at your parents. You don't have a 12-year-old anger pointed towards your parents, reflecting the rest of society as if they were also your mommy and daddy. Mad at them too. Mad because they spanked you too hard as a child. Mad because they're spanking society with their fucking influence they have on the billionaires, the dumbass, punchy billionaires. Insane.
I think you made a lot of good points just there.
So.
Okay.
Let's see what Wesley thinks.
Oh, God.
Yeah, he's pretty turned on.
So Solomon. So then Solomon turned astray. God got mad at Solomon, right? He said,
yeah, but he's not even getting punished, right? He's
No,
like, you'll be fine.
So that's exactly it. God said, you'll be fine.
That's dope. Thanks, God. High five.
Your kids
That's
will be
a bro.
punished.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about them. Which kid? I fucked 1,000 women.
That is a fucking tremendous point that no one in church has ever brought up. That is a really good point. His next king gets fucked up, but no one's brought that up before.
He's like, don't worry about it. I'm dividing it over 2,000
it's not going to be that much
It's not
scorn.
going to be that much.
The other way you could look at
Dude,
it.
I just fucked my way into the biggest army the world has ever known.
The other way you could look at it, because God punishes to the third and fourth generation, right? Is that he's made this huge pool of people that are cursed forever, right? If their kids, so all the 1,000, let's say one kid per 1,000.
Privilege. So they're surviving and spreading their genes too.
And then so they all have 2 kids now. So exponential growth of people that are cursed forever.
And then you get the Holocaust.
It's traced back to Solomon.
Right? I think we figured it out.
Solomon's 1,000 whores equals 66 million dead.
Like you factor that like
Couple
40
years.
generations later,
Yeah.
minimum.
I mean, that's the debt's been paid.
You got the made up number that they say died in the Holocaust.
Moving on.
You pick whatever you want.
So then God raised up Hadad, the Edomite, and then the other guy, Rezon, son of Elida, and Zobah, and those guys, and they're all marching on Israel. That's where the story stands.
Do your parents like that Israel exists?
Yeah, they love it. They go there every year.
Do all Christians want?
Kind of, yeah. That's a prerequisite.
Because they're not like
That's a prerequisite for the world ending or the fucking second coming.
Uh-huh.
So
But they're not the chosen ones, though, right?
They all are now. That's
because Jesus fixed it.
Well, because the Bible opened it to everybody. Jews still think it's not open to everybody.
Right?
Muslims think Christians got it wrong. That's like the Star Wars.
So
analogy.
Muslims acknowledge that Jews are the...
Jesus is a sacred prophet.
I understand that, but Muslims acknowledge that Jews are the chosen people?
That
seems a little counterintuitive to the way they act.
This goes
Toward
back
each other
to the Jacob and
over
Esau.
there.
Okay, so their version, and I'm good. I'm going off the top of my head, so this might be wrong. This might be very wrong, but this is what I think.
I mean, this is the whole podcast. It's going to be very wrong.
Well, I know quite a bit about the Bible.
Yeah, me too.
But I know next to nothing about the Quran. But what I think Muslims
I'm actually a Quran expert, so I'll
perfect.
fill in the
So
blanks.
So what I think Muslims think is, so remember Jacob changed his name to Israel, thus born the naked.
Yeah.
And remember Jacob and Esau, they had the birthright thing, and Esau like
he stole it with his
yeah,
fake hairy body.
Yes, yeah. Exactly. He put the goat skin on his arm. I think that they think that Esau is the actual right guy, and they're just
he thought his son, like touching his son, was like petting a goat.
Kind of, yes.
Like that hairy.
Yeah, that's exact. It worked. That's weird. Like even Robin Williams, I don't think felt like a goat. You know?
No, but they were much hairier back then. Obviously.
What do you know?
Obviously.
I think the fact that he was so hairy made it worth writing about. It was an exception. He was born extremely hairy. Have you seen
like one of those wolf men?
Yeah, in a circus.
That's a real thing.
Yeah, so he might have had that disease, and they wrote about it in the Bible. And I think that Muslims think that instead of Israel being the chosen people, Jacob changed his name to Israel, and all his descendants, those are the Jews, Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
I think they are descendants of Esau, and they are they have the real...
The non-hairy one, right?
No, Esau's the hairy one. Jacob's the non-hairy one.
That explains all their women. Jesus Christ. You're gonna change the rules, you're gonna make some spin-off, and that's how you're gonna write it? By the way,
I might be wildly wrong.
We're this hairy fucking bastard that got no power. He didn't even get any power.
Also,
he didn't get any God's juju, dude. His mojo. Where's all the mojo?
I don't know their book, but I think that they would think that he got the mojo. Right?
It says right there. Oh, that's
this is our
in
book.
their fan fiction. He got it.
In their book, they would, and who knows? In their book, maybe Jacob's the hairy one. Like I don't know what their book says, but I doubt that their book would say he's a wolf man.
And we're all wolfman descendants,
right?
I mean, you're probably right. That's funny though.
Okay, so
what if they just wrote it in after the fact once they found out the Koran existed? Like just that part. By the way, he was hairy and disgusting. Like, because the whole story could work without that detail.
Yeah,
his brother took his
blessing and all
that's
that.
it. Just had to trick the father. The rest of it's irrelevant details.
Yeah,
they could have just said, by the way, he was disgusting and hairy. You know,
could have, except for the fact that we have
Sea Scrolls.
Yes. Hey, good. You fucking remember. I'm actually surprised.
Stepping on the toes of comedy. Those Dead Sea Scrolls.
Stepping on my jokes. What, is fucking Gus gonna come back or?
Yeah, he's taking a fat shit.
I thought he was just like playing
NBA. He's playing 2K, dude.
We need someone here to scroll.
He's got an online match coming up, but it's fucking heavy stakes.
I gotta go to work. My friend Nick fucking raids so much in WoW, he calls it work. He's like, yeah, I gotta go to work in a few. Like, because people stop asking him if it's work. But if he's like, I gotta go on a raid.
Ugh. The Nick I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Ugh.
He's hilarious. Anyways.
He is hilarious, but ugh.
Yeah, that's weird. So,
like anytime my video game turns into a job, you have to quit doing it.
I'd say so.
Like literally, I had to quit StarCraft because I was practicing build orders.
What do you mean practice? Like, I mean, why?
Because there's most efficient build order. You can get a certain size army
Yeah.
at like if I can get this army 20 seconds earlier to their front steps, they're much less prepared.
Yes.
So I'm trying to get as most efficient as possible, and if you miss one building by like 2 seconds, the whole thing is exponentially off.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just practicing.
So you know the order. It's the
I'm
execution.
just muscle memory executioning it, so I don't even have to think about it. Because you're also attacking at the same time
and
in
defending,
StarCraft
and scouting,
defending. Yeah,
and everything.
Everything.
You're God.
Yeah, it's fucking dope.
Okay.
That's why I love it. I feel like myself.
So, we're at 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 26. This section is called or entitled Jeroboam rebels against Solomon. Did you hear that?
That was me.
Okay,
Was that you?
I thought it was me.
I thought it was me too. We both have bad digestion.
So also,
Yeah.
that's how it starts. It's a very Caleb story. I like to start stories with the word also. Also, Jeroboam, son of Nebat, rebelled against the king. He was one of Solomon's officials, an Ephraimite from Zeredah, and his mother was a widow named Zeruiah. Here is the account of how he rebelled against the king Solomon. Here is the account of how he rebelled against the king. Solomon had built the supporting terraces, or the Milo. I think that's just, I don't know. A terrace is like a deck on the fucking palace, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have terraces now.
I was just trying to
It's a word that still exists in the English language.
spell it out for my head. Well, I'm trying to make sense of what's going on here. This is the account of how he rebelled against the king. Solomon had built supporting terraces and had filled in the gap of the wall of the city of David his father. So there was
no one's getting in, no one's getting out.
I guess he strengthened the
He's like,
stronghold.
my whores are getting away. Somebody stop my whores.
He's got them all numbered. 800.
You can't remember their names.
886 is missing.
You're just pointing at them by saying something about the way they look. That's the only way you're addressing any of them. There's no fucking way.
I can't remember. Like, if you have 1,000 Facebook friends, could you
Weird
remember
nips,
all their names?
Big vagina. Pink butthole. You're just
Pink butthole. See me at 7:30 and bring fucking giant ghost nipples.
Ghost nipples, huge tits, banana tits, A cubs. That'd be a fun game. I want to be a king.
Where were we? So, sorry. I had to flip the fucking... God damn it.
I play that game if I ever have sex with more than one girl. That's the key.
They stop words in the middle and continue them on the next fucking page. This is like...
It's supposed to be a scroll, though.
Before we turned on the thing, we were looking at the Bible on the computer, and I was like scrolling, and I thought it'd be awesome if we scrolled down the whole Bible and read it the way it was meant to be read.
Do you think that's where that word came from?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, but you tricked me.
I didn't trick you.
Okay, so I'm going to start from verse 27 all over again. Here is the account of how he rebelled against the king. Solomon had built supporting terraces and had filled in the gap in the wall of the city of David his father. Now Jeroboam was a man of standing, and when Solomon...
Good standing or just standing?
Standing.
This man stands.
That means he had a lot of money and he had influence.
Is good standing redundant? Is there bad standing?
Well, a man of standing, this is what I would my interpretation. A man of standing would be a man of influence or power or position in the court. A man of good standing would be a man on Solomon's good side. Do you see the difference?
Yep.
Okay. So
like your parents versus you if you had money.
He put him in charge.
You're the good standing and they're just standing.
He put him in charge of the whole labor force of the house of Joseph. About that time, Jeroboam was going out of Jerusalem, and Ahijah, the prophet of Shiloh, met him on the way, wearing a new cloak. The two of them were alone out in the country.
Because they have good fashion sense. The Bible needs to know.
And Ahijah
This dude has money. Or bitch, I don't really know.
And Ahijah took hold of the new cloak he was wearing and tore it into 12 pieces. Then he said to Jeroboam, "Take 10 pieces for yourself, for this is what the Lord God of Israel says. See, I am going to tear the kingdom out of Solomon's hand and give you 10 tribes. But for the sake of my servant David and the city of Jerusalem, which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, he will have 1 tribe. I will do this because they have forsaken me and worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Sidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, Molech, the god of the Ammonites, and have not walked in my ways, nor done what is right in my eyes, nor kept my statutes and laws, as David, Solomon's father, did."
You think he was like, couldn't you just ripped off your 2 squares and then gave me a mostly intact cloak?
That's what he did. Ahijah the prophet.
And he ripped it into 12 pieces first.
Well, because there's 12 tribes of
Yeah, but
Israel.
now I have to sew together my 10 pieces to wear a cloak?
It's a metaphor, Kyle.
Yeah, but if you just ripped off your 2 pieces, now I have a mostly intact cloak.
Yeah, but that wouldn't represent the other 10 tribes, Kyle.
Yeah, okay.
So,
But I'd be warm or fashionable. I don't know what they wear cloaks for.
also, it was the prophet Ahijah himself that ripped his own cloak. He didn't rip the other guy's cloak.
You know, what a shitty gift.
It's not a gift.
That sucks.
It's a metaphor, Kyle.
It's like, hey, I got you this PlayStation 3.
It's as if
Here's the hard drive. Here's the DVD drive. Here's the motherboard.
No.
Here's actually, you know what? Here's 4 pieces of a motherboard.
it's kind
Case, cable.
It's as if
You got to
he
get to 12.
Took that, but
Power cable, HDMI cable, controller.
1 battery, 2 batteries. Come on, man.
There we go.
X button, triangle.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, start select.
But so imagine if we were in Canada, you send 1 to PEI and 1 to fucking Yukon and 1 to Nunavut, 1 to
And these
Saskatchewan.
people are like, oh, this is the famous cloak we've been hearing about.
Yes, and it's supposed to be like, this is what the Lord says. Obviously, this is more propaganda written after the fact.
I'm
to
confused
show
to what the Lord is saying.
he's tearing Solomon's kingdom up, and he's going to give away 10 tribes, 10 pieces
To whom?
to this Jeroboam guy.
And this Jeroboam guy owns 10 different places?
No, he's about to. He's going to be so the
So they're
kingdom
just
of
breaking it. They're just dividing it
yes,
figuratively,
and
not literally
no
taking the
figuratively.
shit out of there and moving it somewhere else.
Figuratively, yeah. So it's as if fucking
Because I thought they were taking all the shit and people and stuff and going, you live over here now.
no. They just made new borders.
Oh, okay.
So
Same shit as always.
So Israel used to be one country consisting of 12 provinces.
Yeah.
Now it's 2 countries, Israel and Judah, and
How do
Israel,
they tell who lives in which country?
the natural borders like the Jordan River, certain hills, but that kind of shit. Yeah, there would be people. They're like, who knows what country I live in now? Do I have to get my passport updated? All that kind of shit.
Right? And how do you know when you're fighting against your other countries, which as countries do, how do you know they're bad if they look exactly like you?
You would know by families.
Oh, by probably the shit they wear too, different
yeah,
colors.
exactly.
Their
Clothing
creeds.
and
Isn't that what it's called?
alliances
Their
would be.
family signet.
Yeah, I mean, but that didn't exist at the time. I don't think they had coats of arms or like,
Really?
maybe they had stamps, but I don't think a family would have.
They
I
didn't
don't-
have like
metal's pretty
something
rare.
sewn into a fucking.
Maybe they did.
Why does it have to be metal?
Well, a signet is a metal ring.
I didn't even
used
know what it
for
was.
Oh my god!
I just said it. I knew it had something to do with some
This
family
fucking
shit.
guy. Okay, back to the Bible.
I was
here.
thinking more coat of arms, but I couldn't think of the word. The words coat of arms.
I don't know what they had. I know that the tribe. I think they had animals, but I'm not entirely sure. I know that
Like
Judah.
this one gets the pigs and goats and.
Judah was always represented by a lion. I know that. So they always said the Lion of Judah, which is weird. I guess there must have been lions in Israel at this time. That's what I have to infer.
Or at least they got some on their travels or met them on their travels. Or
Yeah, cool. There's many. Like David fights a lion.
Oh,
That
yeah.
Egyptian in the pit killed a lion. Daniel gets fed to lions. That's in Persia. That's coming up. That's a great story.
There's no lions in the desert though, right?
That's what I'm saying. It's like a weird spot for them to. Might have been
Maybe it wasn't desert. What the hell do I know?
next to nothing.
God
not,
puts-
not what a signet ring is.
No, God puts lines wherever the fuck he wants
It's weird that God would put lines
in
down
the desert.
for like I know, and I made all people, but I like this one only. This group specifically.
And it's not us, except for me a little bit.
So
I'm probably 1/20th holier than you.
you're part Jewish?
I think so, yeah.
Awesome. You get to say you're chosen.
I know, but only a little bit of me.
How much?
If I get to choose what part of me goes to heaven, I'm choosing my dick.
I don't understand how like genetic fractions work, but how much do you have to be a certain race to identify?
Oh, I don't identify as anything. I think that's all stupid.
I think it's retarded too.
Yeah.
But let's just say if we were, Nazis in the Holocaust.
Yeah, which I probably was mostly that. So I was mostly that. And then
how many of your grandparents need to be Jewish? Like, that's a weird distinction.
None of my grandparents were Jewish.
So you're great,
I think so. Yeah,
something?
Great.
Where were we here?
Possibly.
Verse 34. Fuck, it's handy having this
only
guy
on
around.
one side. That's why I said like 1/20th or something. But I don't know how genetically Jewish gets passed down, so I don't know.
It's from the mom. It's from the mom's side. They do it that way.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So
then I'm not Jewish at all if that's the case.
Man, I just had a fucked
mom's
up
all
thought.
German.
That means every time Israel lost a war and all the girls were raped, there was a lot more Jews in the next generation. That's fucked. I mean, if that's the way it worked.
Like they wouldn't get fucked normally?
Well, they get fucked normally by other Jewish men.
Yeah, which fuck poorly and
But-
nebbishly. They fuck nebbishly and don't
No, okay, what I'm
provide
saying,
fertile seed.
the
But
Hittites come over, bang a whole bunch of Jewish people. All
Yeah.
their descendants are Jewish, technically, if their mom is Jewish. That's what I'm saying. Not the Jews fuck bad and their neighbors fuck their girls better.
But they would be fucking them if they weren't getting R-worded, though.
What's R-worded?
Rape.
that now's the one time? I thought you meant retarded, and I was like, how are they getting retarded?
They get R-worded.
I really thought you meant retarded, and I was like, what are you talking about?
You know my point, though. You're acting like their fucking significant others aren't going to fuck them.
Yo, they would.
It's only up to those
No, those guys would be
conquering
dead.
bastards.
No, I meant more like the Jewish women would be carried away to the other country and have Jews born in wherever they are.
That's how they spread.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Like weeds.
Why do you keep referring to Jews as weeds?
Like
Honestly,
dandelions.
why the fuck?
Like
Why
dandelions.
the fuck do you keep doing that?
How do you think I got here?
Okay, moving
How do
on.
you think I got here if they didn't spread like that?
But I will not take the whole kingdom out of Solomon's hand. I have made him ruler.
That is how weeds spread, though. They attach themselves to other things, like animals, like your dandelion, and then they go to a new area and infect it all.
But I will not take the whole
with their
kingdom
dandelion spores.
out of Solomon's hand.
We're talking about weeds here.
I have made for him a ruler all the days of his life, for the sake of David, my servant, whom I chose and who observed my commands and statutes. I will take the kingdom from his son's hands and give you 10 tribes. I will give one tribe to his son, so that David, his servant, my servant, may always be a lamp before me in Jerusalem, the king where I chose to put my name. So God, who is saying this? God is saying through the prophet that Solomon fucked up. He didn't worship me, so I'm taking away most of his kingdom. But because David was such a good guy, this is where the David propaganda keeps showing
Yeah.
itself. The David propaganda shows.
Not only does Solomon not get punished, like, you know how David is so good? Or if you're really bad, God punishes multiple generations deep.
Mhm.
If you're really good, he'll let you one slide.
Yeah.
If you're like the best that ever existed, his favorite of all time, he'll do one.
Well,
he's really polarizing in the punishment aspect.
Yeah. It's
5 to tens of generations he'll punish you.
But
But if you're his favorite person that ever existed, yeah, you might let your son slide a little bit.
one guy. I know it's
Yeah.
the way the justice is served in the Bible is completely ridiculous. And even the idea of worshiping a God that would punish the children of children that did something wrong is the most fucking crazy shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, that alone should be a reason you don't want to worship this God, right? I'll punish your children's children for what you do.
It's kind of something that happens in real life, though.
What do you, like?
Parents make mistakes, their children get punished.
Yeah, the trope for all of history is it's wooden shoes going upstairs and silk slippers going down, as in people do the hard work, build an empire. It's kind of like what's happening now. World War II destroyed the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of that, the 50s and 60s were like the wealthiest generation, especially in America that wasn't touched by the world, like where we live.
Do they have computers?
I don't. You would know more about that. They built computers when?
I mean, I just meant household computers.
Oh,
like what are we measuring wealthy?
We're measuring wealth as
what
in.
percentage of them had cars? How many of them starved
I
to
think
death?
most of them, like middle-inclass
Most
Americans,
of them did not have cars.
in 50s and 60s in America.
The poorest people right now have cars
Yeah,
in North America.
but wasn't the greatest, like, wealthiest generation that
Yes.
generation?
Yes.
Like the biggest transfer
Depends
of
what
wealth?
metric. Here's the thing. That always bugs me when people say stuff like that because they're using weird metrics
So, like,
based on because wealth is relative to what you can buy with it, right?
mm-hmm.
So I don't know what metrics they're using for saying they had wealth. I think they're usually houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could buy a house for fucking a year and a half salary, a year's salary. You could buy a house. So right now, for an average salary, it's like 60 grand. Imagine buying a house for 60 grand.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah. So ours, this is the argument I got with my parents. Once.
Did you win?
Yeah, I fucking coomed after. I won so hard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just they're like shit was easier. My dad is like my dad worked very hard his whole life, but he's like I worked overtime for a year, and I was like that's a nice luxury. How much did the house cost? 100 grand was your salary, blah blah. So it was under 2 years' salary for your house. For me to buy that
paid
house
off
now,
completely?
no, to buy it, got a loan and shit.
Okay, yeah.
But for me to buy a house, it's now 6 years' salary.
It's insane.
So what are we doing here?
I've resigned to just renting off my more successful brothers.
There you go.
Come on, guys.
Have
Remember?
you ever thought of like trying to mind fuck your mom
No.
into being like?
No.
Have you ever tried to mind just sleep with your mom, treat her nicely?
No. Okay, but what? Trick her into what?
Maybe just not trick her. Just be like
Mind
just start
fuck her?
saying God talks to you, and he says different things than her.
She would never take me serious, but I
Yeah.
used to do. Well, God told me this, and she'd be like, "Don't say that."
Because how can? What do you mean?
Exactly.
Like, what's your
Dude,
response?
they go to church and argue about what God is actually saying. It's the dumbest fucking shit of all time. I feel like
Who
God's
is she to
telling you
say
this.
God didn't talk to me when I had a dream last night?
That's what they say.
Because she's a proponent of her dreams. So you're telling me God's
There's
not?
websites.
Why isn't God talking to me more than you when you already agree with him? You like him. Maybe he's trying to turn me.
There's websites dedicated
That's why I'm having those
to
dreams. He's
exposing
trying to
my
turn
mom
me.
as a false prophet.
I'm not doing it. I won't do it.
But yeah, you're totally exactly it. It's like that South Park episode where the psychics are battling.
Yeah.
Sha-na-na-na-na-na. Wah, 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 wah. It's literally that dumb.
Have you ever seen? Maybe we should. You ever seen one of those ones where they get the MMA fighter and then like the chakra MMA fighter?
Yes.
And then they get the fucking shit kicked
Yes.
out of them. Yeah.
Well, I challenged my mom.
Saying we should beat up your parents' church.
Well, I actually challenged them to pray offs, which Elijah's going to do, and like
You challenge him to a pray off?
all the time. I say
Fucking threw it down?
pick up that mountain and put it over there. They go, don't be ridiculous. I say the Bible says you can do it with the faith the size of a mustard seed, so go ahead. They go, the Bible says don't put your God to the test. And then you go, so which is it? And then, but at other verses, they do test God, like Elijah does.
Then you just go, I had a dream last night where God told me you should test him.
Yeah, they would. I don't know what.
No,
they'd
I
say.
don't believe your dream.
I think they would.
Okay,
quote,
well,
don't put your God to the test. I think
I
they would quote
believe
that verse.
we believe in the same God, and He talks to me also. Why is He saying different shit to me than He is to you?
I mean, I see your point, and I think obviously that would never work for me.
They would, yeah, for
'cause I'm
you,
so staunchly.
For you, yes.
But somebody else could do that, and it would be hilarious,
yeah, like what? Like, oh no, I had a different dream.
dude. In
Yeah.
fact, my parents who founded a church, right?
Yeah.
And then many years later, their church was, this is disputed, but this is the quick and dirty version, taken over. They were kicked out of their own church because the church disagreed with what God was saying.
To who? Your mom?
And my father. And so my parents who started the church were kicked out of the church that they started because God was telling the people different things. How dumb is that?
Yeah.
It is.
Uh-huh. Well, how come everyone agreed with them and not your parents who started it?
Well, many people left the church and it's now dwindled down to almost bankruptcy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. How come your parents didn't own control of a church? They didn't own the building?
The
does
church
that
owned the
work?
building. I don't know, dude. I don't want to get.
Yeah, but I thought
into-
if you start a church, you don't own the church?
I think the church owned the church.
What does that mean?
The board of the church, and my parents were kicked off the board.
Board of
I don't know how it works, dude.
I don't know either.
I'm making stuff up.
If you're like Catholic, is there a Catholic church conglomerate that owns all the Catholic churches?
I don't think the Pope is like the CEO of the
That's
Catholic
what
Church.
I'm saying. Like,
I
what's
think,
going on
I
here?
think it's like all the cardinals get together and vote on it. That's what I think.
So they do then.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
What kind of church was your parents?
It was at first a vineyard and then just a fucking church.
No, I mean, like, what kind of sect of Christianity?
Well, vineyard.
What is it
vineyard
called?
is one of the things.
Vineyard?
Yeah, they're vineyard.
I don't even know what that.
they're
You know what?
e-
I didn't even know what that meant, so I just pretended I didn't hear it.
like,
I was like, it has something to do with
they're
grapes.
part of the evangelical. Yes, exactly. The new wine. It's the new church. For real, it's the dumbest shit. But
For real? That's what it is?
yes.
Oh, by the way, we purified Jesus' blood. I think you're going to like it a lot now.
No, there's a verse.
We've aged Jesus' blood in this oak barrel for 12 years.
I really do love your complete stabs in the dark. If you grew up in church, this is all like real church Christianese. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
So you can't put new wine and old wine in new wineskins. And Jesus uses new wine and old wine to use like new ideas. It's Christianese. It's dumb.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what you just said.
It's like, you know,
Christianese?
Are you speaking Chinese? Are you speaking Christianese? It's like inside church talk that if you
Oh, Christianese.
yeah, if you were in church, you would know what new
Oh, we
wine, old
understand.
wine. That's like a fucking like the slang of church.
So old wine's bad.
Not necessarily
You
bad.
want the blood fresh.
We're getting so.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Indulge me a little bit.
Okay. I have to find the
That's
verse.
interesting to me.
I
So just tell me. I don't need the verse.
Well, I need
Your
the
parents
verse.
think old wine's bad?
No,
versus new
because
wine?
I need the verse as reference.
Oh, okay.
Jesus talks about you can't put, just as you can't put old wine in or new wine in or
Old wine and new
New
wine
wineskins.
skins.
because the wine
'Cause
skins
you can definitely put new wine in old things and
Yes.
make it taste better.
something about the way the thing expands. It doesn't work.
Okay.
So it was like you have to change the way you think in order to accept these new ideas. He speaks in analogies and aphorisms most of the time. You know, he's like, I'm the good shepherd and you are all sheep, and then dumbasses go, oh, I know a sheep follows a shepherd.
So I got to go to 4chan to change the way I'm thinking.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Sure. Something like that.
It's a bunch of new ideas on there. Those are the up and coming. That's the new wine.
The copium has reached all new levels on 4chan.
That's all the new wine. You guys are drinking all that old shit.
So
That's a weird analogy because old wine's better than new wine.
well, at the time, it would have made sense to everybody.
Because old wine would taste like vinegar.
Okay, let's.
No, I get that. Old wine turns into vinegar.
I'm trying. Okay, you can't run PS5 games on a PS4, but you could run PS4 games on a PS5. So you have to update your operating system
Unless it's not backwards
to get
compatible.
to get the new fucking games from God, the new ideas.
Yeah.
You have to update your operating system.
Sweet.
I think I did a pretty good job just
That's not
there.
bad. That's pretty good.
Okay, where
Good
were
thing
we?
I'm a Gamer.
So God said all that shit about how I'm gonna not punish you completely because David was such a good guy.
That's okay. I don't like to get punished to completion anyways.
However, as for you, I will take you, and you will rule over all that your heart desires. I'm gonna do all this bad shit. Now he's saying, I'm gonna give you all this good shit.
To Solomon?
Yes. However, as for you,
Although I will fuck your kids.
yes,
I will fuck your kids.
Yes. As for you, I will take you, and you will rule over all that your heart desires. You will be king over Israel. If you do,
Me and my dad
yeah,
were boys.
I remember, David. Yeah,
Dude, the shit me and your dad used to get into back in the day, fuck, it was crazy.
if you do whatever I command you, and you walk
I
in
used to
my
just
ways,
tell him to do shit sometimes. I'm like, go kill all those people by yourself. I thought he'd die.
and he
He
did it.
fucking did it.
He said,
Guy's the best.
Yeah. If you do whatever I command you and walk in my ways, and you do what is right in my eyes by keeping my statutes and commands,
Starting right now.
yeah,
Starting now.
right?
It's like when you go, no talking starting now. When? No, starting now.
Exactly.
He just pulls out.
All right.
Starting
As
Now.
David my servant did, so if you do all that is right in my eyes, keep my statutes and commands, as David my servant did, I will be with you. I will build you a dynasty as enduring as the one I built for David. He just said, I'm tearing your kingdom apart. But if you turn it around right now,
I'll build you. He's like, I'm already living in David's kingdom that you built. Building me one like his does me nothing. I'm living in his.
Actually, better than, because he improved.
That's what he said. Better than?
No, he said, I'll build you one like David. But Solomon's is currently better than David's.
Yeah, he improved upon it.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah, he's
got 20 tons of gold lying around, if you can believe that.
I do. I think he's swimming in it.
Like Dude, Scrooge McDuck?
Yeah, except he's the gold. It's
I
just
would
a
love
pile
to
of
see
gold littered with whores.
That's pretty much it.
That'd be sweet. Just
that if this was animated,
pool,
that's what it would look like.
Dude, if I have 1,000 whores, I'm putting them in a pile.
A pile of whores?
Just a pile and just fucking each hole. Whatever hole is closest.
Elbows,
one pump
backs
each.
of knees.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I will humble David's descendants because of this, but not forever. Solomon tried to kill Jeroboam, but Jeroboam fled to Egypt.
You skipped the whole thing before. You got to do 37.
Okay. However, I did read this. I just read this. However, as for you, I will take you and
son of a
will
bitch,
rule over
young
all
T.
that your heart desires.
Goddamn son of a bitch.
If you do whatever.
Too busy shitting mid-podcast to keep reading.
Solomon tried to kill Jeroboam, but Jeroboam fled to Egypt to Shishak, the king, and stayed there until Solomon's death. We're almost done here.
Who stayed there?
Jeroboam, the next guy, the guy that's going to rule over.
He's hiding out in a shit shack.
Shishak is the name of the king of Egypt. Shishak.
He's broing down with the Egyptian king.
Yeah,
Isn't that
Pharaoh?
Isn't that foreboding? Aren't they enemies?
Forbidden? Foreboding? What?
Yeah.
Aren't
the Jews and the Egyptians enemies? They keep on killing each other.
Not at this point. They actually have a lot of trade. Remember, Solomon's trading
a
ton with Egypt, and it said that in the last chapter, it said God would raise up a guy out of Egypt to fight. So that's like, this is the Bible does a lot of God says this is going to happen, then it happens, and Christians for some reason take that at face value, like they didn't write it after the fact, like we know that they did, but it's hilarious to read a book that was written like 3,000 years ago and think they fucking called it. Could you believe how right they were in their own book over and over and over again?
It's like everyone who writes their own autobiography before they die.
Yeah.
I was the shit.
And more than that, it's like if it was you, let's say I don't know. He's like, I knew at the age of 10 I would start a podcast, and then 22 years later,
300 people would listen.
Yeah. But the point is, like, you're writing it for.
Just kidding. It's like 1,000.
You're writing it after the facts. Okay.
If I had to tell 12-year-old me, 1,000 people would be on my dick weekly. He'd be pumped.
Just like Solomon, dude.
Yeah.
Just like Solomon.
Fuck. I'm the smartest guy in the world.
Solomon's death.
It all makes sense now.
As for the other events of Solomon's reign, all he did and the wisdom he displayed, are they not written in the book of the Annals of Solomon? I know it's annals.
You don't write in that book.
I like that they just go, all that other shit, about that. That's in the other book that we're not going to include in this book that we don't know what happened to exactly. As for all the other events, aren't those written down elsewhere? Fuck it. That's what it says. As for the other events in Solomon's reign,
I don't know what's in here and what's not. So that's not in the Bible?
No, they call this the dark age of Jewish history. There's almost nothing known about this time. And so the Bible itself says, as for the other events of Solomon's reigns, all he did and the wisdom he displayed, are they not written in the book of the Annals of Solomon? So they just walk.
So they're saying, by the way, it's written in a book?
Yeah.
That's not in here, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Would God not know what's in that book and be able to write it down for us?
I think the other guy's hand was tired. He's like, I wrote it over there on the other scroll. I'm not writing it again.
You know how hard it is to copy each book? You have to write the whole goddamn thing again. This shit sucks, dude.
Yeah, by hand.
Fuck it.
Solomon reigned in Jerusalem and over Israel 40 years. Then he rested with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his father. And Rehoboam, his son, succeeded him as king. Next week on the podcast.
Oh, so the Egyptian dude didn't become king after?
Next week on the podcast, Israel rebels against Rehoboam. So Joe
I feel
Rogan,
like we're not going to hear a lot about Rehoboam. I feel like Rehoboam's going to get his shit pushed in pretty quick and not be able to get to enjoy any whores himself.
well, God did say, for the sake of David, his father, he would allow his son to have a little bit.
A couple of whores?
A small piece, 2 of the 12
I'll
tribes.
take a small piece.
And then so after they rebel, they make golden cows again. And then the man of God from Judah, which is a wild story.
I think they're just fucking with God at this point.
Then there's a couple kings.
You know, it'd be a fun thing to do.
Then
Let's say you're like in a society.
Elijah.
You know, like in our society, there's people that want to, it's usually rich entitled kids, but they're like, we need anarchy and to fucking rise up against the power. Their parents, because their parents have all the fucking money and they went to private school. So it's the same thing. Like they're fucking trying to rebel, like these kids, right? Fucking parents, and they're just building golden calves and showing God real quick. Be like, look what we're doing.
Getting mad at you.
Yeah, anarchy.
Christmas.
It's like smashing a window and taking a TV, building a golden calf.
Yeah, it's the fuck you, mom and
Because
dad.
think about this. Because they're building it out of fucking gold.
Yeah.
So it's the rich kids.
But
The
Solomon's
fucking
got
rich kids, dude.
Solomon's got it lying around. I mean, the
He
first
does
time
not have it just lying around.
he's got 20 tons of it.
Yeah, in a fucking vault where he's fucking all his whores on.
That'd be very uncomfortable. A. There's no B.
I heard gold's pretty soft. I've never touched pure gold,
But so you're right that they're making it out of gold and stuff. But if you go back to the original time, remember the first time they did it? Moses goes up to talk to God on the mountain, and he's gone for a few days, a week or two, and they
could have been years. That's no excuse.
Sure, yeah. He's like, well, Moses isn't coming back. We best melt down all our jewelry and start worshiping.
Has everyone heard from God in a week? Guess he died.
God is dead.
I guess we better worship a new one. They must keep thinking God dies. If we die, God must die, right?
I mean,
He built himself like us.
Isn't the point of gods is that they, like the Greeks had gods that died, but I think the original point of God is this thing that's in control, right? So why would
it
it
doesn't
die?
mean he can't die.
I guess he could die. All right. Did we get any emails this week, Kyle, that weren't where the fuck are the first 100 episodes?
I've got a few of those. And you know what? CanadaComedy.ca, and this time it works.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is this the first time?
You know what?
that's
There
worked?
will be more shit. If anything else is broken on the website, that's what happens when you make websites. I don't know what to tell you. Just email BibleBeaters at CanadaComedy.ca. Yeah, that's hey, where's the old podcast? All right. Email Ezekiel231920.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
before should we read the verse?
Sure.
You'll like this one, Kyle.
All hail the Lord of hosts and the King of Tardness.
What's up, dildo?
King of Tardness? That's the laziest one. Props are trying to be original. You suck at it. Copy somebody. That's going to be a life lesson you're going to need to learn real quick. Is you see someone doing something good, you're going to want to copy that.
That was the verse one more time.
23,
22.
Ezekiel 23, 1920.
1920. I think I know this verse.
Guess.
She lusted after her lovers with the cocks of horses, and they come like donkeys.
So we haven't seen this yet.
No, we haven't read Ezekiel's yet. This is it. 23, 19 to 20. Here we go. Yet she became more promiscuous as she recalled the days of her youth, when she was a prostitute in Egypt. There she lusted after her lovers, whose genitals were like those of donkeys, and whose emission was like that of horses.
Donkey dicks and horse cub.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome. The Bible references donkey dicks and horse cub.
Yeah. And she lusted after it. Like, she wanted that.
Fuck, what proper lady wouldn't?
Yeah, so the Egyptians had huge cocks back in the day also.
Fucking well, if we...
That's what it says. in Egypt, she lusted after her lovers whose genitals were like that of donkeys and whose emissions were like that of horses.
There's like, it's kind of like I was gonna say like a certain shade of your skin, the smaller or bigger your dick gets. Like it's like a spectrum.
That's
like
why I wear
white's the
black
smallest,
condoms, because they're
white's the
slimming.
smallest and big, and black's the biggest.
That's Dan Tosh.
But then I forgot about India, who's just fucked in the middle of that.
They have small dicks in India,
The smallest dicks in the world.
but the second most dicks in the world,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Aren't they
I
the
guess.
second highest population?
I'm pretty sure.
All right, so that's the verse.
To be fair, they're more efficient. Their dicks, because on a inch per inch basis, it takes less stroking to get one off.
Yeah, that's straight out
So
of like
it's more-
Silicon Valley.
What?
No, isn't that the dick thing like the most efficient way to jerk off the most dicks? You haven't seen that?
Oh yeah, I have. Well, that's what I'm plagiarizing. I fell a little behind on the podcast, but I'm up to date now. I'm reading this email because whenever there aren't any, I feel sad in solidarity.
Fucking Solidarity.
I can hear the sadness in Caleb's voice on every email this episode.
I'm not sad. I'm honestly, I actually relish asking for when there's no emails because Kyle says,
Caleb loves relish.
by the way, there's no emails this week, so don't ask me about it. That's why I go, Kyle, do we have any emails this week? And he goes,
Sometimes I ketchup
No.
and mustard after emails.
so what you mistook as sadness is actually relish.
No, what you might be hearing is his eternal sadness in his voice. That's always there. You might be confusing that.
You weren't intellectually abused as a child.
It might be gone now in audio form because his bay is back, so that's cute. I can hear the sadness in Caleb's voice and everything. I also have a couple comments on some podcasts.
All right.
Comments?
Yeah, this sounds like a Yelp review we didn't ask for, but go ahead. Go ahead, state your case.
Did you hear what he called me at the beginning, by the way?
Something about
The King of Tardness.
yeah. That's apt. Perfect description.
King of Tardness.
That's perfect. It's like kind of rhymes. It's an assonance with darkness.
It has an S at the end. A ness
Assonance,
at the end.
like orange airplane. That's an assonance. They don't rhyme. They have the same like rolling off the tongue. I don't know how you say it. Whatever the fuck. Continue.
Assonance?
Continue, King of Tardness.
The solo cast with only Caleb sounded like a crazy person arguing with one of his multiple personalities.
Hey, you try talking to yourself for an hour, you fuckhead.
He'd interrupt himself with what he thought Kyle would say.
Yeah,
And then-
you were in my head. I told you about this.
I never listened. You know what? I gotta listen to that fucking episode. I forgot to listen to it.
I was sitting there like reading stuff, and then I'd hear you fucking. I'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, Kyle,"
How have I not listened to that? I completely forgot.
because you're not in it.
Fucking yeah. That's
Actually,
true.
you don't
I
listen to any podcast,
Fucking
anyways.
busy doing everything else. He'd interrupt himself with what he thought Kyle would say, and then argue with himself about it like a lunatic. Kyle, your sister isn't vegan if she's killing bees. Real vegans don't use any animal products, milk, honey, milk, gelatin.
Oh, the no true vegan argument, the no true vegan fallacy. This guy, you got a lot of opinions for a guy that's not done fucking anything but write a barely adequate email with some pretty. Actually, I really like King of Tardness. That's a pretty good one.
It's weak. It's weak at best.
The fact that Kyle hates it means it's good.
I don't hate it. I'm disappointed.
Whatever.
I would have to have emotion or care about it to hate it.
Fair enough.
Also, whoever told you bees don't eat their honey when it's cold is retarded.
Wikipedia's retarded.
Bees store their honey so they can eat it during the winter and not starve. If they didn't, bees would be extinct now. I think literally what my sister said and what I said she said was that they got too cold to eat. They
So they
do
froze.
eat their honey when they're cold.
But they froze.
Yeah, essentially they were in a warming up.
Hey, fuckhead.
And they won't eat to like break away from the pile of heat.
If we put you in the
Yeah.
Arctic tundra with an unlimited buffet of Chinese food,
Yeah.
you might get too cold to eat
That's just
yourself.
yeah, even if there's that much MSG, you fat fuck, you love that. Don't you know what you look like? But I could tell you're fat by the way you wrote this.
Are there a lot of like double letters?
If you, yeah,
Fat fingers?
he's like mashing the keyboard. If you'd like to send emails in to Bible beaters, your sister probably poisoned their honey like the bee Hitler she is. Jesus Christ. What is this email? That's pretty much. You know what? If you're feeling sorry for Caleb and you feel like you need to force an email out, like you just ate a whole block of cheese, maybe. No.
Yeah, we could do without comments. Specifically, we asked for questions relating to Bible
We've had
or
a couple
theology.
comments where they're like, "This is a thing you missed that could be interesting."
Those
I
are
like
good.
those.
Those are good.
Those are interesting.
Even corrections, like you got this.
That's funny. I'll read a gotcha. If you got us,
And corrections, I actually want. By the way, if I'm getting something completely wrong, like if I said like today, like the Muslims worship the hairy guy. Like that could be like if that's wrong, somebody tell me about it and correct me, or else I'm gonna keep saying it over and over and over.
that's for sure true.
Okay,
I told you already. Quran expert.
Quran, so far away.
That's pretty much all I got. If I have another weird dream, I'll email it to Caleb.
Thank
All
you.
Bizarre. Then they said a
One-
YouTube link.
One thing
Curious.
you can skip or do without or never do again. That's pretty much all I got. It's not a good way to end an email.
Objects that I've shoved up my
What
arse.
the fuck was that?
That's the thing he said.
That's how
Vibe.
Yeah.
That's how every fucking
That might have been one of the worst emails we've ever got. That's.
you totally stepped on it.
Sorry.
That's pretty much how
I
I
think you're
got.
done.
Is how every fucking open micer ends after they bomb. That's pretty much all I got. Good night. They just slunk off the stage.
That is it.
You bombed your email so hard. You finished with. That's pretty much all I
And
got.
you could edit.
yeah.
They didn't even get
Anyways,
a chance.
that's pretty much all I got. See you later, you fat fuck. King of Tardness.
Yeah, fuck you, Jackson. I should read your last name with a spike.
No.
Jackson Black something.
What is this?
Guess.
Okay.
Guess what the rest of it is.
Anyways, but where can they send emails, pal?
BibleBeaters at CanadaComedy.ca. Check out the new improved website at CanadaComedy.ca with all the links to the email, Instagram, and everything else we got. YouTube. Fuck off.